So in case Apple's going to come along and try to change everyone's mind about this brand new, innovative passport-shaped fold that's suddenly so reachable that we've never seen before, Samsung is also dropping a passport-shaped fold, and they're positioning it specifically 100 milliamp hour battery. And the more I use it and hold it and just mess around with it, I'm not going to lie, the more I'm liking it. Now again, it is clearly less phone than the Ultra. Like, it's a smaller, but yeah, I'm really impressed by how much I like the smaller fold, and I can really see myself dailying it. I didn't think that coming in, but let me know what you guys want to see in the full review.
The device itself. So inside the box, we have, it looks like, a USB-C cable, as well as maybe a little warranty, or it's talking about the SIM card here. Now let's take a look around the outside edge. Of course, we'll turn it on, set it up, and everything else. But again, this is the lavender color it looks like. On the right-hand side, we have our power sleep wake button along with our volume rocker. We've got some antenna lines, and you can see the hinge in the middle. This is made out of armor aluminum. On the left-hand side, it looks like we just have two antenna lines, and then on the top, another speaker, a couple microphones, antenna lines, and then a SIM card tray.
Now, honestly, they've been on this slow and steady thing for so long that it's felt like, even though they kind of started first, a lot of the more aggressive competition has caught up and passed them. So what did Samsung do with this new generation of the big fold? So dropped a new fold into the lineup. And they're doing something really clever here with positioning. Or at least I think so. Because basically we all expect in a few short months to see Apple unveil the first foldable iPhone. And word on the street is it's also going to be like Samsung is also dropping a passport-shaped fold. And they're positioning it specifically underneath their candy bar style fold. So that's why the candy bar shape is now getting the Ultra name. Ultra. But anyway, this smaller phone is actually really interesting. It's got all of the same stuff I talked about with the Ultra, right? The titanium flex hinge, very little crease, the new anti-reflective coating, a little bit of silicon in the battery, but it is very much a smaller. But then they've also updated the ultra-wide camera to a new 50 megapixel sensor, so it can now shoot 8K video alongside the same 200 megapixel primary as last year, and the telephoto is also unchanged. But the biggest change easily is the improved backplate. They've also made a pretty big step towards getting rid of their own crease down the middle. I would say it's not perfect, like it's not quite reaching Oppo's level. If Oppo's a 10 out of 10, I feel like this is an 8.5 out of 10, but it is way better than last year, which would be like a 5. So by the time you turn the display on and actually look at content on it, plus there's a new anti-reflective coating and a 3000 nits max brightness, so you really don't see much crease at all anymore, which is awesome. And then bonus,
overall size, well, here's the Z Fold 7 side by side, so you can see the size. We'll compare it with the Z Fold 8 Ultra a little bit later, but this gives you an idea of the form factor if you're thinking of upgrading, and you can see it's a little bit wider. Now, when it comes to the cover display, this is a 5.5-inch FHD Plus AMOLED 2X, and it's 120 Hertz. Let's go ahead and turn it on here. We'll press and hold, wait for it to boot up here. Boot it up here. There we go, it turned on. And it says secured by Knox. So again, we'll wait for it to boot up. And again, this is a 5.5-inch display. So there we go. And this is only 4.5 millimeters unfolded. So super thin. It's 9.7 millimeters folded. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And it's just 201 grams or 7.09 ounces. It's the lightest fold display though. If we open it up, so let's turn that on, and the inner display is a 7.6-inch QXGA Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2X. It's again 120 Hertz, has a titanium alloy film. Again, if we bring these together, you can see the crease side by side. It's definitely much better this time around. Also, it's less reflective, and while it's not as good as maybe the S26 Ultra, it's less reflective, and you can see that here.
It's just a primary and an ultra wide. But the way they're positioning these, basically the Ultra is, you know, it's for the power user. It's the person who's doing a ton of multitasking, multiple apps open next to each other at once. That's what it's always been good at. That big open screen in the middle is basically 2 phones side by side instead of 8. And now it's a 4:3 aspect ratio and 3000 nits max brightness. So It's just as powerful on paper. It's got all the same specs, but the smaller form factor and the smaller displays make it a bit less ideal for activities. Like, look at the camera viewfinder when it's closed. Everything's more reachable, all the buttons you can touch with your thumb, and the image you're taking actually fills the screen more. That's better than the candy bar style fold. And then viewing the photos back too, especially style fold. And then viewing the photos back too, especially when it's open. These photos are often literally 4:3, so they are perfectly full screen when you're reviewing them later, which is really nice. I also happen to think this form
to go. Now, this form factor is something I actually really like. It's going to be a little bit difficult for some people depending on the size of your hands, but to reach across the display is a little bit challenging, again, depending on the size of your hands, but quite nice here. And if we go into something with a large keyboard, go to whatever website we've bought, and we have this nice wide aspect ratio. Of course, the same is true if we open it up like this. We've got the full page here in a nice 4:3 page format. Now, another thing you can do with this, if we go into our options here, tap on this button, we can then record from the front camera and the camera on the other display so that maybe we could do an interview. So we can split it like this, and now you'll find it here just like this, and you can record from both at the exact same time. So again, 4K 60 on both without any issues. If we stop that here, go back, again, we can change the actual aspect, and let's go ahead and record. So this is the front-facing camera from the new Z Fold8. It gives you an idea of the overall quality, the sound quality from the microphone, and just what it looks like in general. Record those in a little bit of video to see what it looks like. I think the quality so far is pretty excellent, but it seems to be pretty decent overall. If we go into video, we'll spin it around here, and let's go ahead and record. Accessories and updates, and you'll see here with this video playing, you have a bar at the top and bottom. So while it's smaller than what you get on the Z Fold8 Ultra, it's definitely still there. You could expand this out, of course, to fill the Fold8 Ultra. You'll see in my first look video, which is this one, there's definitely less bars on the Z Fold8, but it's not a huge difference depending on what you're using. So compared to maybe the S26 Ultra, I've never used any of those. One other thing they have here is Gemini Notebook. So it should be pre-installed with every one of them, and you'll see it here. So Google Gemini Notebook, this is going to be super helpful. You can have it organize information for you, and you'll see it says capture the display. I haven't seen any issue with apps that way. So if maybe we go into Maps, you'll see Maps is full screen. We can zoom in, no problem. It just stays full screen. If we want to transition to the outer display, again, something else that's built in is a built-in document scanner. And while that's not new, if we go into camera and then maybe let's spin it around here, we'll go to photo, it should auto-recognize when it has a document behind it, and it is now nudge. So it gives helpful prompts throughout the OS. So this is something we had with the S26 Ultra. So maybe you're on the cover screen and then you go into photos or you go to maps, it can recognize basics and deep dive summaries on the go. Let's get started here. And maybe we'll create new. So you can create or upload a PDF, audio, or anything else, and then it can organize that information case specifically for the Z Fold8, and you'll see it says the carbon magnet case. Comes in varieties of different colors, and let's go ahead and open it up. It's the first time seeing it. Let's open it up here.
But this is the biggest battery ever in a Samsung Fold, now at 5,000 milliamp hours. And for the first time, they're actually updating the charging speed as well, from 25 to 45 watts wired, and from 15 to 20 watts. The whole thing is very thin and really light. 201 grams to be exact. And it's so thin and short, it's honestly reminding me, and let me cook here, it's reminding me of the good parts of the Surface Duo. Yeah, it's definitely a nice sized device, open and closed, that fits in the hand. So the positioning, to me, it's clever, but it makes perfect sense, right? It's between the Ultra, which is the high-end one, that's in the hand. So the positioning, to me, it's clever, but it makes perfect sense, right? It's between the Ultra, which is the high-end one with everything, and the Flip. So it's just a bit less cameras. It's a 50 megapixel primary camera. So $100 more than last year, but definitely a bit more sticker shock now that it starts for over 2 bands. But this is the world we live in now. I would not be shocked if many more devices that come out over the next couple months are also more expensive than last year because of the memory